Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. This is the Bio City Soccer Podcast. We're trying to do this more than one podcast a year for the Houston Dash. So this is more of a weekly thing. So welcome to the Orange and Blueprint Podcast. Of course, I'm not Rudy, but I'm Manny here. Here always available for the Dash Media and everything. But I'm not alone. I'm here with my co-host Diego.
What's up, guys? Happy to be back. Happy to be here talking to you guys again. Just like Manny said, this is not a once a year thing, and I honestly super happy to be here. Manny is one of the best of them, so I mean, there's nothing really better than this.
Yeah, bro. I know. It's like I feel like every time we do a Dash podcast, it's like once a year, and then we trade off, and that's it.
Dude, yeah.
That was it. But now I think it's more cool
Hmm.
that we have each other and we can talk a little bit more of it.
No, for
Uh,
sure.
so so in this podcast, we're trying to get a little bit more of update of since we last talked. Of course, we had some news about a roster update, specifically one player that retired, and then of course we had the media up for recap with Fabrice this past
Hmm.
week, and also of course the Dash yesterday season ticket members had their male wolf uh, kickoff event, and it was real nice. So we'll
Hmm.
recap on that. But first, as you see right here, new
That's
new
so
new new
fire.
kid, new kids came out. So I want to get your thoughts, Diego. What you thought of the new kids now that you actually saw them?
I love them, honestly. I love them. I think they're a great representation of the city. I think if we're gonna commit to like the space city and like those kinds of things, go all in. Go all in. This is gonna be something that I'm gonna talk about when it comes to the Meow Wolf thing. I love how we're embracing kind of the weirdness of the city. The city of Houston kind of doesn't make sense. We're like very Latino inspired, very space oriented, very STEM, but we're also very into like hip hop culture and there's so many things that the city has to offer and it doesn't make sense. So why not embrace the weirdness? I love how this is like I love the colors, I love the aesthetic. I unfortunately I talked about this last episode. Haven't been able to snag one because they don't exist here in New York. But but the search is still on. The search is still on. I love the little Houston uh thing. There you go. There you go. Perfectly. I think it's super cool. A nice touch. Uh, I gotta say, somebody in the City soccer fan said that the Dash do the better kits out of the two teams. I agree. I just it's an unbelievable kit.
Yeah, I know. I fully agree with you. I think the what's most surprisingly, for me, of course, the kid looks nice, but I think national wide media. I think between ourselves, we think the Dash makes the best kid, but I think when it's like more national wise,
Hmm.
ESPN, like other media that covers women's soccer, usually it's like on the bottom list. But
Yeah.
this year's like top five, either top
Yeah.
three, and which is like really great. And at the discussion, Dustin El Jefe mentioned that I think he was comparing new MLS kits and then the NWSL's new kits, and it's like the NWSL like so
Night and
like
day. It's night and
blew
day.
blew MLS out of the water, and this is one of
It's
them.
because they're not afraid to go all in on their designs. They don't really follow templates. I mean, this is a whole thing because of contract issues and negotiations because of MLS and Adidas, but they all use templates. They all use basic patterns and designs, and albeit there are some really nice MLS kits. Let's don't get me wrong, but for the NWSL, every team gets special love, care, and attention from Nike. And even if like the shirt pattern themselves isn't necessarily something creative, you know that the art is gonna look nice. You know the pattern is gonna look nice. So it's like 100% like there's a reason why these NWSL jerseys are knocking out every single MLS kit, and that's because they have so much to work with.
Exactly. No, I know. I do. I totally agree with you on that. It's just very different. I think the one kid that you mentioned that Nike paying attention more to the city or to the club is Angel City.
Hmm.
Angel City FC. Things happen in LA. The wildfires and everything, and they commemorate that with having the local hotspots on the kit.
Hmm.
So it's like paying homage to the city and yet delivering a good kit. And same thing with
Exactly.
the Houston Dash. The kit's great. It's different, which is good.
Hmm.
You want something different, but you want something good, and so I like it. People say it's not orange, it's not blue, but it's like it's a second kid.
It's
You
fine. It's
is
fine. It's let it just be nice. I think
Yeah,
I think Houston fans and honestly, this is more MLS fans because I feel like NWSL fans know that they have nice jerseys and they love it for it. But guys, enjoy kits for the sake of enjoying them. It doesn't have to matter that it's the right colors or not. If it's nice, it's nice.
no, and I agree, and I think like the first kit, the home kit has to be your colors, orange and blue.
Yeah.
The second
Hmm.
kit, it could be whatever, it could be
Exactly.
whatever, it could be whatever you wanted to pop out, you wanted to draw attention,
Hmm.
or create the city's natural, artistic flair on it. So it's like it's whatever, I like it. It's new. The one
Hmm.
I did not expect to love a lot is the training kit.
Ooh, yeah, I see it. I see that you have it on, and I was like,
Yeah.
honestly, they have a new training kit every year, and I mean that not just literally, where they put out a new one every year, but they have a new style, a new aesthetic, a new vibe to it every single year. Like last year's, I have it somewhere in my closet. It's orange. It's primarily orange, and it has a feathered pattern, and I think it really looks nice. And I guess this year they decided to go more blue. I love how like it looks like cracks within the earth. I think it's really well done. I think uh honestly it just it goes back to what NWSL does best, push the limits of creativity. And as somebody who does creative stuff all the time for my job, it's it makes me happy to see a league pay attention to these kinds of small things.
Yeah, I think for me, when I saw the kick, I was like, I wish this was the actual kid, but it's just they're both different, and I like that. I like that. I like
Mhm.
that. It shows very. I think you're right. Nike is not afraid to make creative, and sometimes I criticize Nike a lot. I criticize a lot of Nike because they really sometimes they don't they go too artistic and it just falls out. And this is
Yeah.
like on the point of artistic, but it hits everything
Mhm.
on point. So which I like, but they're all available, guys, either at the NWSF store, Nike store, even the team shop. The team shop has
Yeah.
everything. And did they
Go
have the
get
new
them. Go get them because I can't, and so
I mean you
I will
can, but
like.
you have to ship them and everything, but
Yeah, I really don't want to spend like $40 on shipping, so I might just go to Classic Football Shirts or Saturday's Football or one of those
I,
stores.
I I think classic football has it already. I think they had it
It
already.
does?
I think they have it
Oh,
already. I
then
think they have it.
I might have to go inside into the city tomorrow. Ooh, that's
Yeah,
nice. Okay,
yeah. I saw on their website, but I check. You gotta check it though. But I think I saw it. So
I got
it's
you.
so the NWSL jerseys are just flying around everywhere. So get them.
Yeah,
In
get
Houston,
them.
take time to team store. They have new hats as well with the jock
Shout
tag
out, shout out
that
hats. This is a hat made by one of our photographers, Gustavo Trevino. Shout out, shout out, Rep Houston with Dash
yeah.
Gear.
And so that's it's a good thing. It's a good hat. You have a good hat, so for sure, we want to make sure that we get that out there before we forget. But
Mhm.
I will do come to the news. We have a this past Monday we have a roster update. Two roster updates if you could see.
Mhm.
Ramona Bachman came back, reported to camp for training after
Mhm.
her extended, you know, off season, and of course Yuki Nagasato retired officially from all professional football. So,
Mhm.
what do you think of those two? You could say roster update, Diego, about the team.
Yeah, I mean, Ramona's gonna be. the X factor for the club. I think I could talk to her, about her a little later, but the person who I mean you have pictured with an amazing smile, Yuki. I mean that kind of encapsulates who she was as a player, who she was as a person. I think when it comes to technical ability, she was one of the best in the league for such a long time. Her time in Chicago specifically, I remember watching her assist Penelope Hawking and here at the Shell, or I think it was called the PNC Park at the time. I don't remember though. I don't think so though.
I don't think so.
But Yuki is such a talent. We all remember the screamer that she scored last season. Like we all remember that. I think it probably was the goal of the season.
Yeah,
I don't I can't think of any other one, but I mean, she's just an unbelievable player that I think did she especially leave a big impact with the dash, especially last season? I wouldn't necessarily say no. Say yes, but that's not the point. The point is that she's a player that not only with her technical ability, her speed, her ability off the ball, she's also a player that can impact off the field and be a good presence in the locker room. And I think that will certainly be missed. And to talk a little bit about Ramona, I genuinely believe that she is the most technically gifted player on the Stash roster. I think
yeah,
that's evident. I think there's no real question about that. But the real question is, I mean, how available is she going to be? We saw her last season when she was playing. She was at her peak, an unbelievable player. But how often was she playing? Not much. And so, like, it's great that she's back, but I really want to see her make an impact game in and game out, and really like be that leader that we brought her on to be.
yeah. I think both players. I think let me start. We'll talk about Yuki. I know Yuki is a great player at her prime.
Hmm.
Of course, she helped Japan win the World Cup. So she was instrumental on that as well. But I think even though she made a huge impact here at Houston, but she did in a certain way. I think
Yeah.
when the team had a funk, she stepped up. She didn't
Hmm.
have to be play a little bit higher or play used more, and that's when she got those goals and contributed to the team. I think despite you know I think her limit time ability, player availability, because she can't go the whole 90 minutes. She can't
Hmm.
do as she
No.
could in the prime, but she stepped up in that way, and she stepped up like also in leadership. She was always the first to talk to media, always first in the locker room. So I think that part was needed during that crazy year where Fran left, and when the new interim coach came. So she helped in that transaction. I think
Hmm.
if it wasn't for that, I think that last year's will be much grimmer than it was. So I believe that. So I think she would be missed on that regard. But Ramona, I think Stu, I have a lot of question marks about her
Hmm.
because she'll be late training.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Of course, she'll be available, but I don't think how match fitness wise will she be available. So there's going to be a huge question mark, and that might delay her more. How she can
Hmm.
impact the team. But also, I think mentioning Dustin, we're mentioning like she's great, she's back, but her wife is on pregnant, so she might leave
Hmm.
for maternity leave. So so it's like how much of her you gonna get before she leaves, again. So it's
Hmm.
like it's so much of that, but like you said, Ramona's a great player. At her time in the beginning of the season, she was impacting goals, impacting dangers in the box. So hopefully we can get more of that. Hopefully, you know, it's good for the dash. But well, we have one more week before the roster compliances, so many clubs can still make changes. Waive
Hmm.
some players' contract, add some rookies in their first in their NWL season. So, and it was interesting because segueing into that, we
Yeah.
talked to Reese about that.
Yeah.
With
Look at that. Look at that amazing man right there. The Kenny
the
Bundy.
I
Kenny
mean,
Bundy lookalike.
but he was getting real. Uh, really great answers.
Yeah.
He gave a shout out to Diego. He was like his girl, man, Maggie.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
hyping her up, and it was really interesting, about Maggie. He was mentioning that she's a versatile player, plays multiple positions, and then she plays, a lot of different spots. What stands about her is her technical ability, like you said, Diego, like you mentioned. How good can this dash be having her on the team officially?
I think honestly, with a player of Maggie's level, and assuming that Ramona plays, let's just say half the season, we're gonna make the playoffs. I think I am the biggest fan of the type of player that Maggie Graham is going to end up being. I think honestly, again, we both mentioned her technical ability. We both mentioned her physicality. Fabrice mentioned her versatility. But something that I feel like goes unnoticed is her footballing IQ. She's one of the smartest players in probably the league now, and she hasn't even played a single game of professional football. So coming out of Duke, excelling for 4 years, like getting to see her play at Duke was like incredible. Like she is certainly a world class talent that I'm happy we picked up. But to hear Fabrice say, "Oh, she's versatile," means she's been placed in different positions already, and she's already shown that she can dominate. I think getting a midfielder like her will definitely allow us to play the ball further up, which has been really a struggle for the past 2 or 3 years, ever since Diana and back when we had Maria Sanchez. Like the problem was always we had quality strikers, but we couldn't deliver them good chances. And so Maggie Graham is a player coming out of college that can play advanced, can play as an attacking midfielder, but can also drop back when needed and be really defensive.
Yeah, exactly. So I know Maggie Graham, officially signed coming out of college to the Duke to the Dash. It
Mhm.
was interesting. I think he says she can play anywhere in the field, maybe outside of goalkeeper. So that's very so I was like, okay, so she could take anyone's job except
Uh-huh.
Jane Campbell. So so
Yeah.
I think that's a really
Well, I
good.
mean, that's a high praise, especially considering that we have a lot of talented players in different areas. I mean, to say that you can take Avery Patterson's position, that's that's a very strong compliment. And I mean, you guys know how highly I speak of her, especially as a fullback. So, I mean, to say that about a rookie that's never played, be positive, be hopeful, Dash fans.
Yeah, so I think that's one. I think one highlights he mentioned, and then the other highlight that he mentioned during his press conference was about our starting 11,
Hmm.
and not only that, and the depth we have. He mentions that it's easy to say, but every line has depth, and every line has a player to potentially can start over another. So, which is interesting because I think we did have a major overhaul, but I feel like we still kept a lot of core players,
Hmm.
And last year we didn't perform well,
Hmm.
and I feel like we were so behind many teams. But he's saying, that they have an idea how they're going to execute, and the players they have, you know, are can do damage in the league. What do you think about that? Can the team compete this year? What?
I I think they can. I made the prediction that if Maggie's gonna play to her level and we have half a season of Ramona, we can make the playoffs, and I'm gonna stand by that. I don't really agree with Fabrice when he mentions that we have a lot of squad depth. I think we picked up a lot of players, but they don't really add as much depth as we would at least hope so, considering two or three of our best players are such question marks. I feel like despite that, though, we do have genuine quality in an overall league that has gotten worse. Looking at teams like Portland, who got worse, looking at teams like Gotham, which, I mean, we picked up one of their best players, but along with that, they did get worse as a team. We don't know how that's going to affect them, but the league overall did get weaker. And to see this Dash team get even one or two or three upgrades in any position, I think that's a plus. And I think the question of whether we have squad depth should be whether if Fabrice is gonna do the same thing that Fran did and start the same players over and over again, or is he willing to try new lineups out, new styles of play? Because again, he's an unproven head coach. He has the blank canvas to really play this team the way that he wants it to. So I think, is he going to be able to take the risk in order to compete? And I think he will.
Yeah, I think he will. I think, I think like you say, a lot of teams did get weaker, not by their own choice. I think a lot have business with the WSL,
Mhm.
the English
Yeah.
Premier League of over there, for some people that don't know. And, major people left, of course, the one highlighting is Naomi Girma. I think that
Mhm.
was like the first $1 million player who was a defender, which is crazy. You always think it's gonna be a forward or a striker, but happened to be a defender from to Chelsea. So and people got weaker, and people are starting to relay season ending injuries already. Like Orlando Pride
Mhm.
released two players that are injured. Okay, you got also Sophia Smith or Sophia Wilson, who's pregnant, soon to be on maternity leave for Portland. So it was like, so you see, like a lot of teams have to juggle with
Mhm.
new runs. I think us in the dash should. I think he's right saying that we're in a good position. Can we get competitive? But I think it's easy to say now after preseason instead of into competitive matches how the
Yeah.
table flows out. I think it's hard to see how things go and how things are gonna be. But it is what it is. We still have until next Friday for the
Mhm.
first uh going out. The Dash 2 has I believe you have one more training camp or scrimmage
I
this
believe so.
weekend.
Yeah.
I believe so, but I can't remember when is it. But I think it's closed doors. I think it's just a private scrimmage. So we still have to wait for that. But still, it's around the corner. It's gonna be a Friday against Washington Spirit.
I was a little sad that that game is in Houston because I would have actually gone if it was in Washington because again I am a train ride away, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to wait. But yeah, I mean I'm excited. I think it's a great team to play against. I think the Washington Spirit have been in recent times a very strong team that haven't really reached their full potential. So I think, I mean, I'm going to talk about it later come like game time because I
Hmm.
mean we don't know what the lineups are going to look like and all of that, but it is a good first test where they're not going to be nearly as good to like completely say, oh, it's going to be an instant loss, but it's not an easy team either. So it's really good to have this level of competition. That way we can start off on the right foot.
Yeah. So it's gonna be very interesting. I think it's very interesting how much turnover many teams have, and also a lot of things that it could happen from us. Also, the transfer deadline day doesn't end another 2 more weeks. Even though the
Mhm,
roster compliance is next week, the transfer is not until the end of the month. So there's
mhm,
still many business. I think the roster compliance is gonna help us give us a clue. Okay, who they might bring in. I think what I mentioned to it with Fabrice, do you have any idea of anyone coming in? He's like, there's always the door is always open for that.
mhm.
So you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. So
Sam Kerr to the dynamo. I mean to the dash. Sam Kerr to the dash. I will speak it to existence.
man,
Will it happen? Probably not. But
but who you gonna bench if you get Sam Kerr?
anybody, anybody, I will. I don't
Joe Joe
care.
Joe Joey's gonna be mad if you bench Diana Odornius.
Literally, I do not care. If Sam Kerr says I will sign for the dash, but I will play goalkeeper, I'm giving her that spot. I love Jane, but if we get a chance to sign a big time player, not only will we do it before the Houston Dynamo, but it'll be huge. So Sam Kerr to
Mhm.
the dash. Let's run it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. As I feel a little more time, we still have. I think we still haven't seen the dash play. I think after we see the first game, we're like, we're gonna do that. Someone already mentioned bench Ordonez already, so So, but I was like, someone already said Benjo Ordonez. So I was like,
We've
we need.
gone through preseason games.
I was like, we need Joey here to defend.
We,
He's very high on Deanna. So
I, I
so
I think she can be a very, very, very dangerous attacker. We just need to see it. We just need to see it happen though. And
yeah.
I don't have a doubt about it. I just again I just need to see her score goals. I think she's always been a dangerous player, but she needs to. Unfortunately, I am dreaming. I am very much dreaming, and I hope I wake up and see a notification that we signed Sam Kerr on my phone.
Yeah. So, but I think the most important thing, we
Yeah,
just hope we get a win on the first day.
yeah.
But other than that, it's up in the air what the team wants to do and transfers. So many things that come up. But it's too so many times to speculate. So we just leave it at that because
We
it's
gotta leave
hard
it
to
at that. Yeah.
because it's hard to think. And last thing before we sign off, and it was a quick episode. Not really thing happened, but one thing did happen was the Dash season ticket member kickoff event, and it was at Mule Wolf. If you haven't seen Mule Wolf, look at the pictures. It's more of a
Mm-hmm.
like crazy, I don't know, amusement park that have weird.
Amusement. I read it that it was like a grocery store or something.
No, it's like a wacky house. It's like a wacky house.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
It's like a wacky house, but it's like each city has their own theme. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like Houston is like a radio theme, but it's like almost like
Okay.
a labyrinth type of thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it's crazy and everything. But if you see the pictures, it's good. But the
Mm-hmm.
one thing I didn't have on my bingo card was this. Give me a moment if it comes up. Yeah, that dash guess.
Wait. Oh my God! Wait.
Yeah,
I would buy that.
I'll buy one. Yeah,
I'll buy that.
I was actually pretty good. I was like, I did not like it was really good. I think that was very, very creative. Dash Guess Who. So I was like, if they sell a team story, I'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was a good event. It's a good event for all fans, to meet with the players again, get hyped for the season. It's around the corner. It was a pretty good event. People really had fun. People had karaoke. So of course, people had karaoke, people had drinks. So, it was a good time. So, but if you're not a season ticket member, always get never too
Get your,
late.
se- get your season tickets.
I mean, they're not, they're compared to the Dynamo,
No, yeah.
it's like extremely cheap. It's like
Yeah.
extremely cheap.
And they're
Yeah.
fun. Going to Dash games has always been fun. I've been going to games, whether it be as media or as a fan, for like 4 years now. So much fun. It's a great
Hmm.
atmosphere. It's a good crowd. Great football. I mean, even last year where it was really a product on the field that you weren't really happy about, I was always just a good vibe. So I genuinely urge people to go support them against Washington. It should be a good atmosphere.
Hmm. Exactly. So, it's good. I think what I like about the Dash games is it's more family friendly. I think,
Yeah,
I think Dynamo games it's good, it's hardcore, diehard fans, but I think Dash is more it's a more all inclusive event for everyone. If you're barely getting into soccer or love soccer, you have everyone someone to talk to in each game. I feel
yeah,
like you have that good mix, and
yeah.
then and Dynamo is like either the hardcore Dynamo fans or the hardcore away fans,
Or
and
the
that's it,
Messi fans.
or the Messi fans. Oh yeah, if you spend like there was one like I spent like $1,000 on tickets.
Oh my god.
I was like, bro, man, and he not show up.
Oh, yeah,
Don't worry. NWSL players do show up, so you're good.
yeah, that's true.
Because the guy no place to hide. I'm joking.
No, but
But
yeah, I do agree. I think the environment in NWSL is far more inclusive, far more welcoming. But I would also like to throw in the word far more personal. You can build
exactly.
a better and more personal relationship with the game And so you mentioned it perfectly. If you want to get into the sport, go to NWSL games.
Yeah, if you like as like if you're not into like in a deep end like MLS or any like other teams, so I think like national team like when Mexico comes or
Hmm.
other teams that come, it's always packed and hardcore. I think the NWSL was a good get your water, your feet wet, and then before you dive in. So
Yeah.
it's up to you. So I really look that. So that's all we had to talk about, guys. Quick short podcast, quick update, because next week we hope we get some huge roster decisions.
Hmm.
If
Hopefully.
hopefully
Tanker.
if
Tanker.
yeah, next week we do our predictions for
Yeah.
the Washington game. Yeah, I know Nemo's like no predictions. Let's wait on the predictions once we see
Hmm.
both roster decisions on both teams,
Yeah.
and so I think we should know about that. So hopefully we can get more accurate, and I think we're gonna shoot from the hip because it's like we haven't seen both teams
Yeah. We
yet.
haven't seen anything. Yeah.
So so we're gonna shoot from the hip. Hopefully
Mhm.
there'll be more footage of either Dash or the Spirit training. I think in medium as well. I think we'll see what Fabrice any last thoughts before the game as well, before he steps to
Mhm.
the field and gives his first impression to for that. So
Yeah.
but thank you all. Thank you for saying that. You always can reach us at biocitysoccer .net, our website, or Biocity Soccer on X, Instagram, or on YouTube. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, Ugly Guppy and Elotes Bravos. So thank you for all. Anything last words, Diego?
Just thank you guys for tuning in again. I'm really excited to continue this and get this going weekly. The opener can't come any sooner, so let's get excited and get ready for our predictions next week.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. See you all soon, very guys.